Good morning to students. Best of luck for your annual examination. Today we will start the revision of the chapter 18th century political formations. Now come on the chapter. Let's come on the chapter with the first subtopic, seizing independence, the Sikhs. Dear student, you know that several battles were fought by Guru Gobind Singh against the Rajput and Mughal rulers, both before and after the institution of the Khalsa in 1609. After his death in 1708, the Khalsa rose in revolt against the Mughal authority under the Banda Bahadur leadership. Declared their sovereign rule by striking coins in the name of Guru Nanak and Guru Gobind Singh and established their own administration between the Satluj and the Jamuna. Banda Bahadur was captured in 1705 and executed in 1716. So dear student, you know that under a number of able leaders in the 18th century, the Sikhs organized themselves into a number of bands called Jathas and later on missals. Their combined forces were known as the Grand Army Dal Khalsa. Understand? So you know that the entire body used to meet at Amritsar at the time of Baisakhi and Diwali to take collective decisions known as resolutions of the Guru Matas. A system called Rakhi was introduced, offering protection to cultivators on the payment of a tax 20% of the produce. Dear student, you know that Guru Gobind Singh had inspired the Khalsa institution with the belief that their destiny was to rule Raj Karega Khalsa. So their well knit equipped organization enabled them to put up a successful resistance to the Mughal governors first and then to Ahmad Shah Abdali, who had seized first and then to who has seized the rich province of Punjab and the Sarkar of Sirhind from the Mughals. The Khalsa declared their sovereign rule by striking their own coin again in 1765. Significantly, this coin bore the same inscription as the one on the order issued by the Khalsa in the name of Banda Bahadur. Understand? The next subtopic is the Marathas. The Maratha kingdom was another powerful regional kingdom to arise out of a sustained opposition to Mughal rule. Shivaji, you have heard the name Shivaji, 1627 to 1680, carved out a stable kingdom with the support of powerful warrior families, Deshmukhs. Groups of highly mobile peasant pastoralists, Kunbij, one who goes one place to another place. These people are known as pastoralists. Kunbij provided the backbone of the Maratha army. Understand? Shivaji used these forces to challenge the Mughals in the peninsula. After Shivaji's death, effective power in the Maratha state was wielded, managed by a family of Chitpavan Brahmanas who served Shivaji's successor as Peshwa for principal ministers. Pune became the capital of the Marathas kingdom. So you know that under the Peshwa, the Marathas developed a very successful military organization. Their success lay by passing the fortified areas of the Mughals, by raiding cities and by engaging Mughal armies in areas where their supply lines or reinforcements could be easily disturbed. Understand? So we will know about between 1720 and 1761 Maratha Empire expanded gradually. It gradually chipped away the authority of the Mughal Empire. Malwa and Gujarat were seized from the Mughals by 1720s. By the 1730s, the Maratha king was recognized as the overlord. Maratha king was recognized as the overlord of the entire Deccan Peninsula. Understand? So he possessed the right to levy Chauth and Sardesh Mukhi in the entire region. What do you mean by the term Chauth? Chauth means 25% of the land revenue claimed by Jamindars in the Deccan. This was collected by the Marathas. And Sardesh Mukhi type of tax, 9 to 10% of the land revenue paid to the head revenue collector in the Deccan. Understand? So alongside endless military campaigns, the Marathas developed an effective administrative system. Understand? Next subtopic is the Jats. The Jats, dear student, you know that under the leader of Churaman, the Jats, they acquired control over territories situated to the west of the city of Delhi, and by the 1680s they had begun dominating the region between the two imperial cities of Delhi and Agra. For a while they became the virtual custodians of the city of Agra. The Jats were prosperous agriculturalists, and towns like Panipat and Ballabgarh became important trading centers in the areas dominated by them. Under Surajmal, the kingdom of Bharatpur emerged as a strong state when Nadir Shah sacked Delhi in 1739. Many of the city's notables took refuge there. His son Jawahir Shah had 30,000 troops of his own and hired another 20,000 Maratha and 15,000 Sikh troops to fight the Mughals. Understand? While the Bharatpur fort was built in a fairly traditional style, at Dig, the Jats built an elaborate garden palace combining styles seen at Amber and Agra. So now we have completed the chapter. Thanks for watching the video. Thank you. Best of luck for your examination.